Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping into a really powerful idea from our source material. This idea that the very act of looking at your life, really focusing on it, is what actually cements it into reality.
All right, let's kick this off with a question that, well, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but it has huge implications for our everyday lives. Have you ever wondered if watching your problems, like constantly focusing on them, is the very thing that keeps them alive and kicking?
In the totally weird and fascinating world of quantum physics, this isn't just some wild theory. It's a proven fact. See, an unobserved particle, it's just floating around in a state of pure possibility. But the second a scientist looks at it, boom, it collapses into one single definite thing. Just looking at it forces the unseen to take on a solid shape.
Okay, so here's where it gets really personal. The idea is that your reality, the one you see around you, only exists as solid stuff because you're looking at it and, on some level, you're agreeing with it. Your focused attention is basically acting just like that scientist, that quantum observer, locking your life into one particular state.
And this leads us right into what you could call the observer's trap. It's something so many of us fall into. By constantly looking at, worrying about, and, fighting our problems, I'm talking about the empty wallet, that tough relationship, whatever it is, we're actually, without meaning to, cementing them in place.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? When you're fighting against what is, when you're pushing back against the so-called facts of your life, you're just pouring your energy right into that reality. You literally become the observer who keeps forcing that particle to show up in the problem position over and over again.
Think about it like this. Imagine you're trying to get rid of a character in a movie by, punching the TV screen. It's completely pointless, right? All you're going to do is break the screen. The image isn't on the screen, it's coming from a projector. And that's the perfect metaphor. Your attention, that's the light from the projector. And as long as you keep shining that light on the problem, you're basically paying for it with your own energy.
So fighting our external reality is a dead end, then what's the alternative? Well, it's a discipline that our source material calls sacred total ignoring. I know, it sounds pretty radical, but it's actually a really powerful strategic move.
Okay, let's get one thing straight. This is not about pretending a bill collector at your door doesn't exist. No, it's about refusing to give those facts the power of being your ultimate reality. It's about learning to see them as just echoes of a past state, kind of like driftwood that's washed up on the beach from a storm that's long gone.
Here's a fantastic metaphor that makes this so much clearer. Just imagine you're an actor, and you've just landed the role of a lifetime in a huge Hollywood blockbuster. Awesome, right? But you're still contractually obligated to finish out your last 3 shows in this old, dusty theater where the sets are literally falling apart.
So you're physically there on that old stage, saying the same old lines. But inside, mentally, emotionally, you are so not that character anymore. You are already living in that brand new reality. You can feel the excitement of the new role. You already know your new lines. That is the secret. You just let the old world play out its final scenes without trying to fix it because your emotional home is already somewhere else entirely. And this takes us to the deepest level of this whole concept. It's about making the shift from being just an actor in the movie to realizing you're actually the projector itself. This is what the source material calls the state of I am. See, most of us live on this horizontal timeline. We're always here, trying to get over there. We think, okay, if I just do this today, maybe in a month, I'll finally have what I want. But that way of thinking keeps us stuck in a state of always wanting, of lack. The real power, this philosophy says, isn't horizontal, it's vertical. It's about realizing that this single point, the I am, right here, right now, is the center from which every possible world can emerge. And that projector metaphor just illustrates the core shift so perfectly. A projector doesn't need to watch the movie to the very end to know how it goes. It holds the entire reel of film all at once. Every single frame is present, simultaneously. So when you stop identifying with the character you see on the screen and realize, wait, I'm the projector, all those facts of the outside world, they just start to lose their grip on you.
Okay, so this is a really fascinating philosophy, right? But how do we actually use it? Like, what's the practical application? Well, the source material gives us a blueprint, basically a new operating system for your reality, built on 3 core principles. It really boils down to 3 fundamental shifts in how you operate day to day. And we're not talking about abstract ideas here. This is supposed to become your new operating system. So let's break each one down.
So let's take a closer look. First up, total responsibility.
This means you got to understand you are never a victim. You always have the power to choose which reality you agree with on the inside. Second, trust inertia. I love this one. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every 5 minutes to see if it's growing, right? You have to trust that your new internal state is taking root, even if you can't see anything on the surface yet. And finally, live from the end. This is crucial. Stop working towards success. Instead, start acting, thinking, and feeling from the state of already being successful. Don't go looking for love. Be the loving person you'd be if you already had it.
And all of this leaves us with one last really empowering thought. You're the architect, you're the operator, you're the programmer of your own reality. It's like you were tricked into believing the remote control was broken, but now you know the truth. The remote has been in your hands the whole time. All there is this present moment, and right here, right now, a whole ocean of possibilities is waiting for you. So the only question left is, which channel are you going to choose to watch today?